If you are someone who enjoys breaking things and fixing them, troubleshooting hardware, and being in the field, this certification is a great starting point, way better than CCNA. Are you planning to start a career in networking in 2025? Maybe you're already certified in CCNA, but all you have is theoretical knowledge and no hands-on experience. Whatever the situation, if you want a course that is going to help you gain real hands-on experience with Cisco hardware, then you're in the right place. Cisco's brand new FLDTec certification is changing the game for field technicians. And in this video, I'm going to break it down to help you be able to make that particular decision. This course is about gaining practical skills, learning about on-site problem solving, becoming the go-to expert for Cisco hardware. So if you're serious about a career in networking, this certification could be your fast track to success. Let us dive in. Hey friends, if you're new to this channel, my name is Tinei. My goal is to be a resource for those that are starting their career in the network industry through tutorials, course reviews, tips and guides, just like this one, to help you build a career that you love. So if you're new here, you might want to consider subscribing. In 1998, Cisco introduced the now famous CCNA certification, which has now become the gold standard for anyone starting a career in networking. However, there was a challenge in that CCNA was hard as an entry-level certification, and there was a lot of content that was basically covered in that course. So in order to solve that, in 2016, Cisco introduced their Cisco Certified Technician CCT, which was meant to be lower than CCNA and almost to be the same level as Network Plus to help people that were basically starting their career. It came in 3 streams. First, you had routing and switching, you had collaboration, and you had data center, each with its own exam. But they also presented a problem in the fact that routing and switching are Cisco's bread and butter as compared to other streams such as collaboration, video or voice. So you had a lot of routing and switching engineers, because that's a starting point for anyone who's starting a career in networking mainly, before you then go into sub branches. So you had a lot of routing and switching technicians, engineers, as compared to, voice, data center, and Cisco's support to their customers through their tech, which is their technical assistance center. They would send technicians to client sites. And because there were more technicians on the routing and switching side, whenever there was a routing and switching problem, you had a lot of technicians to choose from to send to a customer site. However, when it came to data center and collaboration, there was a challenge because there were not so many technicians that were specializing in collaboration and data center. So in order to solve that problem, this basically led us to the certification that we're going to be discussing today. The second problem was that engineers would be good on one technology, such as routing and switching, and they had little awareness of the other technologies, such as collaboration and data center. However, companies basically don't just run one technology. You have routing and switching, you've got voice, you've got video conferencing, you have data center, you've got wireless. So when you are coming in with just one technology, you then would struggle in being able to adopt and manage other technologies that you did not study for. So in an effort to be able to solve that problem, Cisco then came up with the Cisco FLDTec certification, which basically combines routing and switching, collaboration, and data center into one certification. This is not the first time that Cisco has done this. I think the last 6 years back, CCNA was once broken down into wireless, voice, data center, and cybersecurity. However, Cisco decided to just combine all that into one certification so that at least you have a knowledge of routing and switching. You're also not new to the concept of wireless. You understand voice. So when you walk into an organization, you've got all the skill sets to be able to then deliver from the very word go. So in order to solve all these problems that I basically highlighted, Cisco then came up with the FLDTec certification, which basically combined the 3 streams into one. So what is actually covered in this course? The course is structured into 4 tracks. You've got network foundations, Cisco processes, tools and collaboration, and data center devices. In the network foundation module, you're going to cover the basic network foundations, Cisco hardware, and operating systems. In the network foundations, you're going to look at things like the OSI model, IP addressing, subnetting, cables that connect devices, wireless infrastructure. And then on the Cisco hardware side, you're going to be looking at the different switch models that are available, the different routers, edge routers versus branch routers. You're going to look at the firewalls and their various models. Then you're going to look at Cisco's cloud solution, known as Meraki, where your devices are managed in the cloud. You're also going to look at wireless controllers, video conferencing, and data center infrastructure. I guess the key objective is for you to be able to be familiar with the Cisco family of products. As I mentioned earlier on, Cisco has different devices for different scenarios. And this is where you're going to cover what devices are meant for what scenario. And then you're going to close off this track by looking at the iOS, Cisco's operating system, similar to Google Android. In this section, you're going to learn about the different iOS models that are there. iOS XE, the Cisco NX OS, which is basically used in their Nexus switches that operate in the data centers. In track number 2, you're going to be looking at processes and tools. You're going to look at what are some of the best practices that Cisco recommends when you're troubleshooting and replacing their hardware. You're going to also then look at the common tools that you need in order for you to connect and configure devices. You'll learn about terminal emulators, which is basically the software that allows you to connect to the command line of a Cisco device. You're going to look at what are the common emulators like PARTY, Secure CRT, and then you're going to look at the console cables, which is the cable that allows you to then connect your laptop or PC to a Cisco device. And then you're going to cover the common iOS commands. In the next section, Cisco is going to walk you through how to replace a Cisco device. This is important because it's going to cover step-by-step requirements in order for you to replace, a Cisco router, a Cisco switch, a Cisco firewall. What are the things that you need to be able to do? Copy the config, backup the config, install the config on the new device. What do you do with the cabling that is connected to those devices? The goal of this video is not to go over everything that is covered in this course, but to give you key highlights that will help you decide whether this course is good for you or not. In track number 3, you're going to be looking at collaboration devices. When you talk about collaboration in Cisco world, we are basically talking about voice and video conferencing. The module will take you through the different voice and video conferencing endpoints that are available. You also learn about the Cisco Unified Communications Manager, famously known as CUCM, which basically manages core processing and IP phones. And in the event that any of these devices fail, how do you replace and restore them to full functionality? And the last track, which is track number 4, focuses on data center. This is all about data center, looking at key technologies such as storage area networks, your Nexus switches, how they differ from campus switches. And also you're going to look at the Cisco UCS server models. You're going to include the B series, C series, learning about the difference between chassis-based and blade servers. So not only do you learn about the technologies, but you're also going to learn how to replace the failed components of these devices. So by the end of this course, you're not only going to know about the processes and procedures, but you're going to be familiar with the entire Cisco product range, from switches, routers, firewalls, to telephony. You're going to know how to upgrade a Cisco device, how to replace a failed device or components, troubleshooting issues across platforms. So this, by any means or standard, is not a theory knowledge course. It is practical, hands-on, giving you the experience that companies are basically looking for. So if you want to gain hands-on experience, this course is a no-brainer. I'm sure you want to know who is the target market for this course. The course is targeted towards field technicians who provide support in the field, replacing devices. You see, most companies have branch sites in remote locations, and they've got their engineers sitting in the central office. And field technicians basically are the hands and feet providing support to engineers in replacing faulty or failed hardware. According to Cisco, these technicians need to be certified so that they're not only familiar with their hardware, but they can also perform troubleshooting steps. And that is the target market for this course. So if you are involved in replacing Cisco equipment, fixing devices, then this course is for you. So what is my personal take on this certification? Now, every certification has its own advantages and disadvantages. And the first advantage is that this certification is focused on real-world hands-on experience. You see, traditional Cisco certifications like CCNA, they never really covered Cisco hardware replacement and handling hardware failure. And in this course is going to give you hands-on steps on how to handle outages and device failures. This is very important because when I did CCNA, I was never taught the how-to steps of replacing a Cisco switch. But however, in a real-world environment, when a switch fails, everyone is expecting you to be able to fix it. And this course is going to give you that hands-on experience that you can't get anywhere else. The second one is breadth of context. Traditional engineers in the past were focused on one technology. So I did CCNA routing and switching. If that's all that I knew, it meant that if I walked into an environment where there is voice, I might be starting from scratch because I have got no understanding on voice. So in order to be able to increase my knowledge, I had to do CCNA routing and switching. I had to do CCNA wireless. I had to do CCNA security. I had to do all these streams and write exams just so that I could get the knowledge. But in this case, because everything has been combined into one course, you are forced to learn about other technology, which basically is going to widen your knowledge about other technologies that are available, improving your ability to be able to support. All right, last one is Cisco products. CCNA and CCNP focus on configuration and design, not the actual devices. Whilst in the workplace, you need to know about the hardware models. When I did my CCNA, my focus was configuration and nothing to do about device models. Maybe now it has changed, but I knew how to configure a router, but nothing about what router models Cisco offered and which routers were better suited for different deployments. I had to learn that in production. However, in this course, it covers almost every Cisco device from different types of switches, firewalls, routers. So whilst researching this course, I learned about the different Cisco platforms that I did not know about with all the years of experience that I've worked in networking. So definitely, this is something that everyone needs to learn. What are some of the disadvantages that come with this course? The first one is lack of depth. You see, when you choose to widen your knowledge, you compromise some way. So because the course is covering routing and switching, voice, data center, you can't go too deep in the different technologies that are covered in these areas. So you're going to know much, but you're not going to know too much to focus on one area. The second one is employer demand. Now, this certification is not popular as compared to CCNA, where employers are basically looking for people with CCNA. Maybe in the near future, things are going to change. There will be jobs that will be advertised with this course as a requirement. But the point I want to stress is that if you were to do this course to next month, don't expect the course to make a significant shift in terms of your CV, because employers might not necessarily be looking for FLDTec as a certification. However, the knowledge that is covered in this course is a must for anyone who wants to have a solid foundation in their network career. And then the last one is hands and feet. You see, the target for this course are field technicians who provides hand and feet for senior engineers. Now, most big companies will have such roles available where you're just providing field tech support. Other companies, you're going to need to know more information about other systems other than this particular certification. If you are someone who enjoys breaking things and fixing them, troubleshooting hardware, and being in the field, this certification is a great starting point, way better than CCNA. Now, let's go to the exam information. What used to be 3 exams is now 1 exam. The code is 500-150 FLDTec. The exam is going to take you 120 minutes, 100 questions. The cost is $300. And at the time of this recording, there is no official textbook. The only training that you're going to get is on the Cisco U website, which is going to cost you $300. I'll probably leave a link in the description. So let me know, what do you think about the course? Would you consider starting with this course instead of CCNA? Let me know in the comment section. And if you made it this far, I want to say thank you for taking time. I trust you found value in this video. And once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.